This is the city of Sheffield, and it is home to the oldest football club in the world, Sheffield Football Club. Also called Sheffield or simply the club. The club currently plays in Northern Premier League Division 1 East in non-league football and is still an amateur football club, unlike its neighbours Sheffield Wednesday or Sheffield United. But when it comes to its contribution to this game, none of them come anywhere near the club, be it its role in shaping modern football and making rules for the game, or its decision of prioritizing grassroots football and be a strong voice for non-league. Sheffield Football Club changed the football world forever and played the biggest role in the existence of today's football community, which we all are part of, a place where it all started. Sheffield's journey from its inception to today's world is a hell of a story, and I want to talk about that in this video. In 1855, members of Sheffield Cricket Club started organizing informal football matches, mainly to remain fit during the winter season. Later in 1857, two members of Sheffield Cricket Club, Nathan Creswick and William Prest, formed the Sheffield Football Club. The inaugural meeting of the club took place on 24th October 1857 at Parkfield House in the suburb of Highfield. As there was no other football club in its initial years, Sheffield games were played among club members themselves, in the format of married versus single or professionals versus the rest. They had to wait till 1860 to play against another club when Sheffield's near neighbour Hallam FC was formed. The two clubs first met each other in 1860 in a local derby which is still contested today. On 14th October 1878, Sheffield's Bramall Lane ground hosted a match consisting local pairs in front of 20,000 people. It was the first match in football history to be played under floodlights. Creswick and Prest were responsible for drawing up the club's rules of play, decided in October 1858 and published the following year. The Rule Book of 1859 is the first official set of rules and laws for the game of football and defined the inventions of a corner kick, throw-in, free kick, crossbar and fouls. They were referred to as the Sheffield Rules and were the first detailed set of rules of football to be published by a football club, as opposed to a school or a university.
In the Sheffield Rules, number 1, it says we shall kick off from the middle, which obviously is exactly the same as today.
In a match against a London team in 1866, people saw Sheffield players use heading in the game, which only existed in Sheffield Rules and later became common everywhere else. The Sheffield Rules were later adopted by the Sheffield Football Association when it was formed in 1867. The FA, established in 1863, also considered their key rules while forming a single set of football rules. Sheffield joined the FA in the same year, but continued using their own rules until 1878 when they finally adopted the FA's rules. Principles of amateurism, fair play, and community involvement has been a fundamental part of the club's identity since its inception. While many football clubs aspire to reach professional levels and compete in higher divisions, Sheffield has chosen to prioritize its rich history, heritage, and community-oriented approach to the game.
And I enjoy it. It's a part-time job, but it's run very professionally. We train hard. We train how we want to play, and that's how I've been ever since I signed for the club 12 years ago.
We have a unique brand, a USP that can translate all over the world.
The club takes pride in its role as a custodian of football's early traditions and values. Being an amateur club allows Sheffield to focus on providing opportunities for local talent, promoting grassroots football, and fostering a strong sense of community engagement, preserving its unique place in football history and inspiring others with its commitment to the core principles of the sport. As the club's chairman Richard Timms said, "On the field, our ambition is to play at the highest possible level without turning professional. So I would like to think we could reach the Conference North or even the Conference Premier." Sheffield was started as an amateur football club and tried to keep its original identity and stay as a local club. So when professionalism was introduced in 1885, the club started declining since then, failing to compete with professional teams, losing heavily that year to Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest and Notts County. Sheffield joined their first league competition in 1889 when entering the Midland League, but left after just one season when they finished at the bottom of the table. They were also the founding members of the original Yorkshire League in 1898, but again they just spent a single season in the competition. The club joined the Yorkshire League again in 1949, where they were till 1982, experiencing promotion and relegation multiple times. During their 33-year stay in Yorkshire League, their only divisional title was the Division 2 crown in 1976. The club gained promotion to Northern Premier League in 2007, where they have played since then. While the club is famous around the globe as the oldest football club in the world, it has not been much help to them in dealing with financial challenges, especially when they are in non-league football. A big example is withdrawal of their women's team from Women's Championship due to financial problems and the increasing financial commitments required to compete at that level. Sheffield has changed their home stadium multiple times since its inception. All of these were also not owned by them, despite being the first football club ever exist. Their first stadium was Strawberry Hall Lane Park. Then they moved to Old Forge Ground and ground near Hunters Bar on Acklesell Road. In 1921, they moved to Abbeydale Park, followed by Hillsborough Park, Ollerton Stadium and Don Valley Stadium. In 2021, Sheffield started a plan for the new stadium based at the STSC facility in the Meadowhead area with a proposed capacity of 4,000 people and a heritage centre celebrating the city's role in football history. Despite not being in the limelight of modern football and competing in a professional league, the club still has witnessed several key events and recognition for being the oldest club in the world. In 2004, Sheffield received the FIFA Order of Merit. Real Madrid is the only other club to receive this honor for service to football and credible maintenance of the club's values. In 2007, the club celebrated its 150th anniversary with the services to football attended by many big names of football world, including David Pele, Sepp Blatter and Sir Bobby Charlton. They also played a friendly match with Inter Milan. In 2010, Sheffield Football Club Foundation was inaugurated to preserve the heritage of Sheffield FC and nature of football. In 2019, the club paid tribute to its founders with the story of 1857, the football pioneers. The Pioneer Project has also helped the club massively with its global reach. The club has many honorary members, including some of the most famous current and retired football players. In the last few years, the club has experienced an increase in numbers of visitors, acknowledging its contribution to the football world. Sheffield has retained its identity of a local football club, playing within its identity and at the same time famous around the world for being the oldest football club in the world. And these are the two selling points of the club. As club's chairman Richard Tim said, the two selling points are Sheffield FC, which matters to local fans. But to somebody in Argentina, it is irrelevant that it is from Sheffield. The other is that it matters because it's the world's first football club. You have got the two distinct things here. You have got a local football club playing within its community, and you have got the appeal of the heritage and the history of the game. And that's what separates Sheffield FC from any other football club in the world. Most of them are either global football brands playing in top leagues or local clubs in non-league football but not so famous outside their community. But Sheffield continued to preserve its values of a local club while also home to the global football community and the football heritage it carries. In the last few years, the club has taken various key decisions to make the club more appealing and welcoming to the football world. Some of which are increasing their online presence, launching esports team, and making their website more informative and interactive for new visitors, which can make them know more about the club and also an opportunity to get more members or sales from different avenues. The club has also promoted their new stadium and heritage center across different platforms and have increased the hosting of different events in the last few years. But the club has been doing it all cautiously without sacrificing their core values of grassroots football and local community, to ensure that Sheffield does not lose its relevance in the future for both global and local fans. The club has always made their stance on football values clear, running a club for people's game and not a money-making machine. Sheffield FC, which lead the foundation for the world of club football, may not be as famous or successful as the big names of today, but its football heritage and contribution to football can never be forgotten. And the club still ensures to keep the spirit of the game, the local football and the value of community on top of everything, which is something truly commendable. And there might not be a better way to act like the oldest football club, even if they are not getting enough recognition or reach from world football, or them not competing on the highest level, having a bigger stadium, larger audience or anything else. Because above all, Sheffield FC still exists today, more than anything for people's game, and an institution from where it all started.